Hey guys, and welcome back to Kicking with Dr. Britton for another Sunday where we have a special guest who will be sharing with us her teaching experience here in the United States. Yes, there were challenges, but she's here to share with us today what those were and how she overcame those challenges. So, if you're joining us for the first time, go ahead and share with somebody you know would like to get this information. And if you are a returning listener and viewer, welcome, 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 guys. I see Julian was so early. She was in the chat from 5:36 ready, ready to get all that is going to be shared this evening. So, for those who are in the comments, welcome, welcome, Julian, welcome, Kay, Donna, Marcella, Jessica. Thanks for joining. Again, we already know go ahead and like from early so that you get that out of the way. Share so that people who are interested can get this information as well. Good evening, Natalia and Tanya. Good evening, good evening, good evening. All right, so we're going to give the others a few minutes more to join. And while we do that, I will be sharing with you some other things that you might be interested in. But let's give the others a few minutes to join. Good evening, Nature. Nature's besties. All right, we're going to go live also on IG. Hey, JB. Hey, Angela and Latrice. Welcome, guys. Go ahead and share. If you were teaching. Hey, Julie Livermore. Hey, Miss Livermore. And me. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I see Donna is asking, I wonder if it's Angela, Cutie, and Thompson. That is telling me something, Donna. Why are you wondering at this point? Why are you wondering at this point? Well, you will find out in a few minutes. All right, we are 6:04. We're going to give them a few minutes more to join. And then we'll get straight into business. All right, we're also live on IG. So, for those who are just joining, we have with us today a special guest who will be sharing her teaching experience here in the United States, as well as challenges she has faced and how she has used her positive mindset to overcome those challenges. I know we will be learning from her this evening. We're giving the others a few more minutes to join. If this is the first time joining, go ahead and share. Also, for those who are returning, thanks for joining. All right, for those who are studying to do their praxis or tech sets or whatever teaching licensure exams, then you need help, you can check out study.com. Study.com offers a wide variety of information for the different exams for teacher licensure in the United States. We know Praxis, one of the popular ones, also GACE for South Carolina. If you need to sign up with study.com, you can use my code to get a 30% off for your first 3 months. My code is in the description below. It is Kicking with Dr. Britton. Study.com has assisted a lot of people with these teaching licensure. I've spoken to teachers who have used it, and they shared also that it was very helpful. So if that's something you're interested in, you can check that out in the description box below with my code that you can use. Present Carol, thanks for joining. Hey, Chanel on IG. Okay, so it's now 6:07, so we're going to begin. We don't want our guests to be waiting too long, so we're going to get straight into it. First time joining. Thanks for joining, JB. First time coming. I'm sure you're going to enjoy it. So this evening we have with us, and you guessed right, Donna, we have Angela Thompson, and she is a zealous professional with good work ethics, and she's also a trained guidance counselor who believes that enthusiasm makes her a perfect fit to serve as an educator. Her enthusiasm makes her a perfect fit for an educator. She studied at the University of West Indies, where she completed her master's in curriculum and instruction, and also her post-grad diploma from the Montego Bay Community College. She's also a graduate of International University of the Caribbean, where she did her bachelor's in guidance and counseling. And she's currently here teaching in the United States. And she's going to share with us what exactly she's teaching. I know a lot of people will reach out to find out, the different degrees that we have. I have a guidance and counseling degree. Am I eligible to teach in the United States? This is a perfect example where you can see what her qualifications are and how she was able to gain a job here in the United States, though her bachelor's in guidance and counseling. So she's a trained guidance counselor, as I mentioned. Also, she's a trained first aider and also has skills in customer service. She enjoys singing and she has an extra passion for Christianity. She says Christianity is her hobby. Okay, so guys, without any further ado, we're going to welcome Miss Angela Thompson, where we can learn more about her experiences here in the United States, the challenges she faced, and how she overcame those challenges. Guys, please let me welcome Miss Thompson. So it seemed like Donna know Miss Thompson, She said, big up, cutie. And all right, Donna Beach. So thanks for joining us today, Miss Thompson. We are looking forward for a wealth of information for those who would like to know some of the challenges that are being faced by international teachers. You're going to be sharing that with us today because teachers, yes, you want to leave your home country to go to another country to teach, but that comes with different challenges. It's never an easy pathway for all. I'm not going to say everybody has the same experience, but then we have to be mindful. We have to brace ourselves for these challenges if we are to face them, what we're going to do and what's our next step. All right. So our first question today from Ms. Thompson is, did you always want to become a teacher? First thing.
First thing, no. And then, yes. Well, I wanted to become a nurse first, but then I'm like, that's not for me. And then when I started primary school, there's my fifth grade teacher who she had passed on. She had passed on now. She was like a role model for me.
Mm-hmm.
Her passion, her, the way how she teaches, the way how she care for us as students in our class, you know,
Mm-hmm.
allowed me to want to become a teacher. And then I could not wait for school to over in the evenings to go home and teach my steps.
Mm-hmm.
So my steps would have been my students from a tiny tot.
Right.
So back then I realized that, hey, teaching is for you.
All right. So not initially, but then you realize that's your pathway. All right. So can you tell us how long you've been teaching in the United States?
I started in August. I came in at the end of July. So I
Okay.
officially started in August
August 2022.
2022.
All right. So my next question, what inspired you to seek employment in the United States?
Honestly, the Jamaican voice, when me there Jamaica, me no know if me feel like me a one teacher.
Right.
Being in the United States, I feel like I am actually teaching.
Right.
There is so much for me and for people who are interested to come to learn. So it's a lot here, and teaching is my passion. It's my inspiration. I love kids. I love to ensure that these kids be the future doctors, lawyers, as I would always tell my students every day that I
Mm-hmm.
see the next president of the United States in my room. I see the next chemist. I see the next teacher. One day I
Mm-hmm.
said to some of my students, you're all doubting yourselves. I can use myself as an example. I used to doubt myself even as an adult today.
Right.
But be bold, be brave. There's no wrong way, there's no right way. Spit it
Yes.
out. The only thing I can do is to correct you and to get you on the right path. I said, God forbid, you
Yes.
may never know. Tomorrow, I may be ill, and one of you very well could be my nurse or the
Yes.
doctor, and they like when I say these things to them.
Yes. Words of encouragement.
Mhm.
But I want to backtrack, Miss Thompson. I don't know if you want to share this with us, but you say when you were in Jamaica, you didn't feel like you were a teacher. Can you explain more what you mean you didn't feel like you were a teacher and why you think you had those feelings and why you're feeling like a teacher now that you're in the United States?
Um, Back in Jamaica, it's like you are left on your own. Yes, there is a little bit of support, a little bit of support, a little bit
Mm-hmm.
of support. But it still feels like you're on your own. You go
Mm-hmm.
to work and you teach and you sit down, you hardly have people come around to check on you. Here in
Yes.
the United States, you better not dare sit down. You better be on your two legs walking around watching what the students are doing.
Yeah.
Every minute you see the principal or the assistant principal or your PLC coach or your MCL coach, they come in your room and they would stand and watch you for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and they're out.
Yeah.
I remember when I started out, my kids we were doing like a story on YouTube. So I was sitting at the desk, not knowing that I should walk around. But then my door opened, and that was my coach who walked in and she said, Miss Thompson, what are your expectations? Because I see students doing this. You can't see everybody.
Yes.
Now she's telling me that I need to walk around to ensure that students are not playing with this, playing with that. They're focused on what is happening up front.
Right.
In Jamaica, we don't have that.
Mm-hmm.
We have every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 times per week. I have training sessions, coaching sessions. This helps to build me as a teacher and
Yeah.
for my students to grow, grow, grow every day.
Yeah. 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 Got it. All right. So could you share with us what program sponsor you came on?
I am proud to say I'm with Global Teaching Partners, the best
Global Teaching
sponsor.
Partners. All
Yes.
right. And she said it's the best. We cannot say any other but what she said, the best. Global Teaching Partners. All right. So we know Global Teaching Partners have their set of requirements. All right. Before we go into the requirements, can you tell me when you were thinking about coming to teach here in the United States, what were your expectations? What were you expecting when you arrived in the United States?
What was I expecting when I arrived here? We all know the culture shock thing, so definitely you have to look out for that.
Right.
Well, let me tell you a little secret now. I love the United States, so it's not much of a big deal for me whether it is shock or not. But I
Yes.
was indeed shocked
Okay.
when I came here. So
Right.
when I was through with my orientation with the Global Teaching Partners, and my advisor picked me up because Global Teaching Partners would have would have selected persons to be your advisor for 30 days. So you'll have
Yes.
one advisor to take care of you for 30 days until you get your apartment, your car, whatever, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So back home, I would have applied for my apartment, applied for my electricity, internet, everything. And when I came, to my surprise, what I saw online was not what I saw when I came here.
Mm-hmm.
Tears came to my eyes, but they didn't come down.
Mm-hmm.
And I had already gotten the check to pay these people. And I'm like, there's no way I am going to be comfortable living here, much
Right.
less to be for 1 year. I put my documents down because the lady is eager to take them and to put everything in the system. And I said to her with my little feisty self, Miss, do not touch anything for me.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way I am going to be comfortable here. But thank God for my advisor who is from Colombia.
Mm-hmm.
She said to me, she didn't want me to stay there either because it was not a pleasant sight. She
Right.
said to me, you can come home and stay with me tonight, and tomorrow we'll find you somewhere else.
Okay.
I'm like, God, I prayed to you the last time I checked, not man.
Right.
So here I am in a comfortable home. But that was the only shocking thing for me, the apartment.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Everything
So,
else seems to be falling in place for me.
okay. So tell us what were some of the requirements that Global wanted? Because I know each program has their own requirements that they have set.
So the first thing when I applied, the first thing that they asked for was a copy of my driver's license and a copy of my degree.
Mm-hmm.
And then once they accepted that, it took them about 3 to 5 days to respond to say they were accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And once those were accepted, then the process began where they ask you to submit other things like your resume, videos, and stuff like that. And you get
Mm-hmm.
your first phone interview then.
Okay, so now you're excited that yes, you're on this pathway to come here. And as you mentioned earlier, you paid from back home or you saw an apartment from back home, and now you're here in the United States. What were some of the challenges that you faced once you got here? We know you talk about the apartment. What about the classroom? And for one, you're driving.
Okay. Might I add that I got my driver's license the year of COVID, the October before I applied. I didn't even know that I was going to apply. But when
Yeah.
applied, I realized that was a requirement. But might I add that I've never driven in Jamaica other than when I got my license.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, driving now, it's like I learned to drive here in the United States. When
Mm-hmm.
my advisor would take me all over the place, wherever I want to go, make sure that I go to the DMV. Might I add that she would have prepped me with all these things from before I transitioned here. So she
Mm-hmm.
would have told me what to expect, what not to expect, what to do, what not to do. So
Mm-hmm.
she was a good advisor. Not everybody is good, but
Yes.
praise the Lord when you get somebody who is indeed a
Yes.
blessing. So she would take me all over. And then I remember when I got my car, she said to me, Angela, you will drive to work today. I'm like, really? I got the car and it was parked for 1 week. One week I parked it because Angela don't know how to drive. And worst case scenario, you know that it's different from Jamaica.
Right.
So that morning, I said, all right, God, it's me and you. And might I add, I'm just 7 minutes away from work.
Mm-hmm.
When I went into the car and I prayed, I was shaking. I was shaking. And if
Yeah.
we all remember the story with the wolf, I think the three little pigs, when the wolf would huff and puff until it lay
Mm-hmm.
down, I was like that going to work that morning. And when I reached into the schoolyard, I said, thank you, Jesus. And then for the entire day, I'm worried about how am I
Going
going to go
home.
home. But then I did it day one, I did it day two. Day two, I was on the wrong side of the road. Here's how I was on the wrong side of the road. I came out of the schoolyard and was on the left side. But then I realized I saw a truck coming. I'm like, a truck coming? What am I doing over here? Luckily, nothing was coming behind me. So I had to switch over. Now I can safely tell you that I'm
Mm-hmm.
driving 2 hours and more.
Right.
I'm
Wow.
driving to the driving and then this examiner that I had, she was very rude. When I went to do the driving, you know that when you're doing the driving, the examiner is there, you can't talk in the car unless she or he is speaking.
Yeah.
And she would be like, oh my God, you're so slow. When I speed up, oh my God, you're going over the speed limit. I'm like, what's the speed limit? You
Right.
shouldn't ask me that, you should know. And she was like, attitude. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
this woman don't know that I am a Jamaican, but I want to get my license.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the session, she was like, who taught you how to drive? In my mind, she was very rude and disrespectful. But then she said, just be careful on the road and come let me give you your driver's license. So I was like,
Mm-hmm.
God, you did it again. Thank you. Because I thought I failed.
Right.
All in the back of my head. Yeah.
But that is really something to take away with. I know a lot of people who want to come here in the United States, especially if they're coming on a program. One of the things that is holding them back is that they don't have a driver's license, or they might have a driver's license in your case, but they're not driving. They're not driving every day back and forth to work. And to come to a different country to start learning, especially driving on the different side of the road, that can also pose a challenge. So I would encourage teachers who are, planning to come here and you're going to be in areas that you need to be driving, to start practice at least 2 times per week to drive back and forth to work. It worked out for you, and I'm sure it can work out for others, but I would encourage them to get their practice in. All
Yeah.
right, so tell us about your first week of school. How did you settle in your school for the first week and compare it to now? How was it back then and now?
When I started, I was so excited about going to school for the first day.
Yes.
But when I went, it was not actually the first day. I was all dressed up. And when I went, the assistant principal was like, Miss Thompson, you should be here tomorrow. I'm like, oh my God. But then she gave me a tour of the school and she showed me my classroom. And
Right.
then she was so nice because I would have to call my advisor who went to the gym and
Yes.
I would have to wait on her to come pick me up. But she was so nice to take me back home. So
Right.
that's how I know my relationship building started right there. Because
Awesome.
that's
Good.
what we need to work on, relationship building.
Yes.
My first week in the classroom, we had was to do rules and expectations. What and Jamaican teachers normally love to ask the students to give the rules.
Right.
So I asked them to give me their rules first, and then I lay out mine.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as I was mentioning, the expectation, if somebody comes in the room and a child is doing this, the first question my supervisor is asking, Miss Thompson, what are your expectations? I'm like, but I can't see everybody at the same time. I
Mm-hmm.
will tell this child, and we all know you as students, I will tell this child not to be under the desk with your hands playing with something, and by you turn your head, they're there again. Now, what
Mm-hmm.
should I do about that?
Yeah.
So just rules, regulations, giving them Google work, like activities from Google. So I
Mm-hmm.
would use my background knowledge. And by the way, I'm doing second grade. I've never taught upper school level before. I am always teaching the 5-year-olds. And trust me, I'm
Mm-hmm.
loving second grade. Second grade
Okay.
is great.
Mm-hmm.
No, I was a little bit nervous, shaky because it's new. The curriculum, it's new. Everything to you is just new. And
Mm-hmm.
oh my God, how can I remember so much things, so many things to do in one little space of time?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes when I go into the meetings and I should give a report, I'm like, I don't know what to say.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do. And you're giving me every minute there's an email with something new. So if you're sending me 100 emails in 2 hours, how am I going to get everything together?
Right.
But now I told my supervisor last week, Miss Scott, you
Mm-hmm.
can't catch me again.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, I was like, I don't know what to do. I keep asking questions. Might I add, I still ask questions.
Yes.
Sometimes my second grade supervisor must be tired of me, but guess what? I need to learn it. I need to get
Mm-hmm.
my students together. I need to get everything right. I need to be on top. I
Right.
need my principal to say, I need this teacher, like he said. What you didn't know, before your
Mm-hmm.
interview ended, I told the director I need you in my school.
Mm-hmm.
I need him to say, I will always need this teacher in my school.
Right.
So supervisor, you can't catch me again. So right
Mm-hmm.
now I am doing more than what I was doing last term.
Right.
It's a lot of work, but once you have the mindset, once you
Mm-hmm.
put your mind, your heart, your body, your soul, everything into it, you will
Mm-hmm.
just get it the way that it ought to be.
All right. So can you tell us what are some of the things that what are some changes you made to make you be in a better place today compared to last August with all those emails coming in? Because I'm sure the emails are still coming in, the expectations are still there, but what have you done differently to be coping at this time?
All right. So at the beginning, you would have mentioned that I have a master's degree. I am in my final semester with
Mm-hmm.
my master's degree in curriculum instructions. Last year it was really rough. It was really
Mm-hmm.
hectic. I have so many exams. I have so many coursework. Plus, I have government work to do. So it
Mm-hmm.
was just a lot. Well,
Right.
this term, I am a little bit more lighter in terms of I know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I mentioned to my second grade supervisor, listen, it's more easier. It's four of us. It's more easier that you have one teacher doing skills, one teacher doing math, one teacher doing knowledge, one teacher
Mm-hmm.
doing social studies and science. So
Mm-hmm.
right now I am doing like one lesson planning for the week
Right.
for all the other teachers. So
Good.
that makes life a little bit more easier for me.
Mm-hmm.
What other challenge too is the group sessions, because you need to have group sessions at least twice in the classroom. So I
Mm-hmm.
had a little bit of struggle last term in terms of getting my activities together for these kids. And then I am at a restart school, which is a lower performing students. My
Yeah.
students are growing now, praise the Lord. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
they are growing. So group sessions are very much important. Now I can see myself coming up with more activities, doing
Mm-hmm.
more for my kids than I was doing last year.
Mm-hmm.
So
Good.
the more you grow, the more you get into it, the more you learn, the more you
Yes.
can apply.
Yes, true. So it is going to be frustrating for most in the beginning, but then once you put your mind into it and you also make changes, because that sounds to me that is something that you came up with to let, or should I say, ask all teachers to just focus on one lesson where you don't need to be doing all four for your class, and then you just share those lessons among each other. So
Yes.
teachers, you can always find ways to make your life much easier. And I'm sure that's what Miss Thompson did when she came up with that idea. You keep mentioning classroom expectations, and when your supervisor comes in, she's asking, what are the expectations? Can you share some of the expectations that you are held accountable to or for?
All right. I have my rules when the students come in the morning at 7, they have up to 7:25 to play. Then I start teaching at 7:30. So within that 5 minutes period from 7:25 to 7:30, they need to know that their pencils should be ready. If they need to drink water, drink water. If they need to use the restroom, use the restroom. Once the teacher is in front of you teaching, do not raise your two fingers to tell me that you want to go to the restroom because Miss Thompson is going to say no. Let me think about it.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, no. I do not want you to miss information.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you can use the restroom when it's time for you to do your work on your own. But as long as I'm standing in front of that classroom there, in front of the
Mm-hmm.
board, nobody should raise their hands because we have a sign when they need to go to the restroom, they need to put their two fingers up like this.
Right. Yes.
That's a sign I know that you need to go to the restroom.
Yes.
Another thing, you dare not get up out of your seat without my permission. So if you even need to blow your nose, you need to raise your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Don't call me because if you call me, I'm sorry. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
responding to you. You know the rules. Do
Right.
it. So you raise your hand to get up from your seat if you want to drink water or something. But as long as I'm teaching, no movements unless
Mm-hmm.
you have a question based on what I am teaching.
Right.
One other thing in my classroom, once I am teaching, absolutely nothing should be on your desk.
Mm-hmm.
You should not be playing under your desk. You should not be looking around. I tell them if you're looking around and you're not looking on me or on the board, then you are not focused.
Right.
My 3 words for my students, and I use this back home, it's written on my board at school. The theme for my class: look, listen, and
Mm-hmm.
learn. Those are my 3 L's. So if somebody missed something, what are my 3 L's again? Look,
Mm-hmm.
listen, and learn. So
Right.
they have to be remain focused. So if I'm teaching and somebody take up a bottle of water now, and
Mm-hmm.
my supervisor come in and see, she's going to ask me, Miss Thompson, what are your expectations?
Mm-hmm.
So nothing should be seen on the desk, and you should not be playing with anything at all for
Yeah. Okay. So you're basically holding them accountable to those expectations.
right.
And you're reinforcing them also. You say if the child raised their
Everything.
hand, you're not going, I mean, if the child talk without raising their hand, you're not going to respond if they say Miss Thompson, because that's not a part of the expectation. The expectation is to
Right.
raise your hand if you want to ask a question.
And then you'll be acknowledged.
And so, what I'm getting also is that teachers need to be consistent with these expectations, because once you start letting things slide and they say Miss Thompson, you answer, then they stop doing what they need to do.
Yes, and might I add that when they're in the hallway, they know that they should stand in a straight line, face forward, your hands in front of you, and you're not talking. And if they talk, I purposely let them go to the classroom, and then I said, everybody get out. We will
Mm-hmm.
do this again until you get it. You cannot go to 3rd grade like this. I
Mm-hmm.
said, I will let you remain in 2nd grade. And here's the sweetest part of it: you won't be in Miss Thompson's class because, oh, Miss Thompson is the best teacher. Miss Thompson, you're the best. And they will give me hugs and kisses and all sorts of notes. And
Mm-hmm.
when they give you those notes, please stick them up.
Yeah.
Stick them up. Stick them up.
All right. So, classroom expectations, guys, you have to be big on that and you have to be consistent with it. Tell us about some of your classroom management skills. Or should I say, do you have any behavior problems that you want to identify? And what are some of the classroom management skills that you've been using for those behaviors?
So, I love to brag people. I always have, all right, so I have this thing that I wrote on my board, the buck challenge or the buck game. So I cut out like dollars, the
Mm-hmm.
$1 thing from
Yeah.
YouTube, Google.
Yeah.
So I told my students every day, you have to earn $15 in order to either win a prize to sit in the teacher's chair for a day,
Mm-hmm.
Take your favorite toy to school and you can play with that toy on my permission.
Mm-hmm.
I will even give you a $5, real $5 note if
Mm-hmm.
you chose that option. Or you get free time on the carpet with your tablet, or I give you snacks, or you get extra recess time, 5 minutes extra recess time,
Mm-hmm.
or yeah, can't give them free extra lunch time because we have to work by the schedule, but extra
Right.
recess, free time, and stuff like that. So it's written on the board, and then I also use
Yes.
Class Dojo points. They love to get points. So once they see the dojo on the board and they hear the sound, Miss Thompson's
Mm-hmm.
giving points. Be quiet, be quiet. I remember two students. They were in the class making noise, and I was sitting down there just looking. And to my surprise, I saw two students. They're protesting now. Please be quiet so we can get candies. I'm like, I was so amazed when I saw it. I mean, the two students, they wrote, please be quiet so we can get candies. So they know that once they behave themselves, there's always a
Mm-hmm.
reward for them. So a
Right.
reward system
Yes.
is important in the classroom. It could be a pencil, it could be a snack, it could be a candy. American
Mm,
students love candies.
right. That is true. That is true. All right. So, could you share with us? You mentioned that your support system was great from Global with your advisor. What about your support system at school and also in your community that you're at now?
Or my support system is good because I started out building a good relationship with my colleagues
Mm-hmm.
and my supervisor. As I mentioned, I meet with we usually meet every day during specials time. Specials is 45 minutes. So
Mm-hmm.
every day you meet with your supervisor to get more information and learn how you can get your students up into standard form. Right.
Mm-hmm.
The relationship is so good. So just to say that even when I was moving into this apartment,
Mm-hmm.
my principal took it upon himself to come and help me with my furnitures.
Wow.
So you have to build a good relationship with your
Mm-hmm.
colleagues.
Okay.
And then I just don't get support from my supervisor at school, but the county will sending like CKLA math
Mm-hmm.
coaches and knowledge coaches. They will come in, sit and watch you in the classroom and give you your feedback. You always get a feedback. If it's even a
Right.
sentence, you always get a feedback. And your feedback, you know that you need to improve here or there.
Good. All
So the
right. So
support
let's
is good.
go jump back to the challenges because we don't want to be talking all negative. We have to talk about the good also. But let's talk about some of the challenges again. You did mention the driving aspect of it as a challenge and getting your apartment. What about your child, getting your child in daycare? Did you
Oh,
have any challenge
my
with that?
son, my son is 16 years old.
Okay.
Yes. It wasn't a challenge. Well, should I say it wasn't? I'm going to say it wasn't a challenge because I know that I am on the Lord's side
Mm-hmm.
and He walks with me every minute, every hour, every second of the day.
Right.
So before my son came here, I remember going to the football game at a high school, that the school that I wanted him to go. And
Mm-hmm.
I looked up in the sky and I said, God, this is my son's school. He will be coming to this school. But the challenge is
Mm-hmm.
the address. So I am living in this apartment complex, and half of the complex can attend that school because of the zone, but the other half can't. So when I went to talk to the principal, he was like, based on the address, and we are going to need proof and all that. So hear me now. The last time I checked, you're not God.
Mm-hmm.
So I registered my son to start school at another school.
Mm-hmm.
And then one Saturday morning, I woke up and I went downstairs and I saw this moving truck. And I said to the gentleman, how much would you charge me to move from here to over there? And he said, if you want to do it on another way, just give me a call. And I went into the office. And when I went into the office, I was able to sign a new lease with a new address.
In the same
The
apartment
very
complex?
same morning,
The same apartment
the
complex.
same complex.
But a part of it goes to school here, and
Yeah,
next part go to school somewhere else.
right. So they gave me a building that is associated with the zone of the school that I wanted my child to go. And he has started school and he's doing great.
Wow. I know they usually zone the areas for the different districts, but this is the first I'm hearing that you're on one complex, but one side of the complex is for this area and one side of the complex for the next. That is
And
something
then
new.
and then they said that the address is by choice. Yes, and then when he started school, it takes 2 weeks for him to start the school bus. But I said, when you build a good relationship with your principal and the
Mhm.
teachers at the school, Jamaicans always have links.
Yes.
This little girl, determined little girl, always
Mhm.
have some links.
Right.
When he started the Andrews High, my principal was like, "Why didn't you tell me?" He called the supervisor for the bus right away and he was on the bus the next day. When
Mhm.
he changed to the other school, all I did was to send the supervisor for the buses an email. And she
Mhm.
was like, he can ride the bus right now.
Wow.
2 weeks afterwards, the school sent me the bus that he should be riding. I'm like, he's on the bus already.
Mhm.
So everybody have their good moments.
Right.
Everybody have
Right.
their bad moments. It may be quick and easy for me because I miss Nuffy, salt and water.
Right. But though it started off as a challenge, that was sorted out anyway. But as I'm seeing also in the comment, everybody, most of the people, yes, we have heard about zoning, and we know you have to go to you have to live a specific place to go to a specific school. But it's the first time hearing where one complex is split for different schools. So every day we learn something new. All right,
Mhm.
so we're going to wrap up the question and answer section and allow others to ask their questions in the chat box before we go. I want you to give me what would you say is your major success so far?
My students are growing.
Good. Good.
Growing, growing, growing. And my global supervisor came last week to visit me. She said, I miss you. You are a rock star. Those are her words. You are a super rock star. And might I add that global teaching partners will be using me during the orientation period that is coming up for the new teachers. My principal, assistant principal at school, they also said that they see me in leadership. So they will be using me as one of the coaches for new teachers that because new teachers will always be coming in.
Okay,
So,
sounds good.
yes, and they like the fact that the students are growing.
Awesome.
The
That
students, so
sounds
so
really good.
that's major for me right now. I'm just happy about that, and I just want them to continue to
Mm-hmm.
grow.
Awesome. I'm excited for that. All right. So, guys, if you've been watching, you've learned from Miss Thompson. If you have questions, go and put those in the chat box. Thank you, Diane. Yes, you are the international teachers. You like my shirt. Thank you for those who have not supported the brand as yet. Go ahead and send your orders in. Find me on IG at Kicking with Dr. Britton so that you can put your orders in. If you have questions from Ms. Thompson, go ahead and put those in the chat box now. Also, right here, I'm using this nice pen from Bastion pen. I'm telling you, this pen is so heavy. I don't know if you guys know about these pens we had long ago that were so the quality was so good in them. They felt heavy. They felt like, this pen is something I don't want to keep for the rest of my life because I can refill the ink. This is it. This is the pen, the Bastion pen. If you'd like to purchase one of these, there's a code in the description below for you to get 20% off. Also, if you'd like to be an affiliate for them, you can sign up in the link below. Check out Bastion Pens. Their link is in the description below, as well as the code if you'd like to get one. See? Very thick, heavy. Let me show you right there. Thick, heavy, nice pen. I'm waiting for the questions to come in. While we wait, we're just going to take a 30-second break and come right back. All right, so we're back. And before I go to the question, I want Miss Thompson to tell us a little more. I know you wanted to share about anchor charts and their importance. Do you want to tell us about those and how you use them in your classroom?
Yes, anchor charts are important, and we know that you don't put up anchor charts if you don't teach the thing. You teach it and then you put it up so the students can use them
Right.
every day. I'll use
Mm-hmm.
an example. Last week, Monday or Tuesday, I believe, I was in my room and something told me that my principal was going to walk in.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Always
in
something
the,
tell me to.
yeah, I was in the middle of teaching.
Yeah.
And I saw my principal walked in, then the assistant principal came in, then the curriculum instructor supervisor came in, then the skills supervisor came in, then my PLC coach came in. That was 5 people.
5 people all at
And they
once.
were in my room for about 10 minutes. Now, these people just walk in and you don't know, and you better be
Right.
prepared because if you are not, you're in super trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So I was teaching, I think it was subject and predicate I was doing, and they want to see students active. It's not about you, the teacher. The students need to be active doing something.
Right.
So I have them engaged, doing different activities. And then I asked them to do individual work now so they could show me that they catch on, grab on, to the task. And I asked them to write one sentence. I didn't ask them to do the 2 or the 3 that the book asked for. I said at least one.
Right.
We're going to underline the subject in the sentence, and then you're going to put 2 lines under the predicate. And then I asked the question, when we're writing a sentence, what should we do? They say start with a capital letter and end with a period if it's a
Mm-hmm.
period.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have my charts with what is a sentence, how to write a sentence. I have my quotation charts. I have my punctuation charts. I just did not have the subject and predicate chart yet because it's a new topic.
Yes. Yeah.
In the afternoon, I saw my principal and I said to him, Sir, what you did this morning, I was never expecting that. And it's my first time feeling this way. And he said to me, Miss Thompson, it's not about you. I'm training my other supervisors here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
training them to be principal because they would be principal one day. So I'm
Yeah.
like, that does not sound right. He said
Yes.
if it was about me, he would have been in my classroom every day.
Mm-hmm.
He said, one thing I want to point it out though, your anchor charts.
Yeah.
You need to ensure that you have anchor charts so when the students are doing their work, they can relate, reflect, go back to those charts and look.
Mm-hmm.
But I said to him, Sir, I have my charts. He said, You did? I said, Yes, they're right there. He said, Are they big? I said, Yes,
Mm-hmm.
sir, visible. They are even bigger
Mm-hmm.
than you. And he laughed.
Mm-hmm.
That's the relationship we have together.
Right.
So charts are very important. As you teach something, put your charts up. These help the students to grow too. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just standing up there in front of and teaching, and the room is empty.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I do, I may not do it at the same time, but it's important that these charts go up.
Yeah.
They are looking, the principal, everybody, they are looking for these anchor charts.
Yeah. All right. Somebody was asking if you'd mind sharing the interview process with Global. Say they already did the phone interview and are waiting the first interview.
So usually after your first interview, they would take 3 to 5 days to respond based on, I hope I can remember everything. But I remember they responded to me in 3 days to say I was successful. And then After that, then they would have asked you to upload a video, a 90-second video, a copy of your resume, and might I add that Global will tell you what they need. So they send you a document outlining everything that they need you to put in there. You may not use everything, but you choose what you think is best for you to put on your resume or whatever they ask you for.
Right.
Once you submit, I think at that stage too, you will have to upload your passport and your, if you have a visa, I think, I don't remember. Once you upload those and they approve them, then you will move on to another interview. If you pass that second interview, then they're going to ask you to upload like probably police record, transcript, um, what we call a principal, like your principal back home, if you don't want
Reference.
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 Yes, sometimes the words, there you go.
Yeah.
Then they will ask you to upload those. If they accept those, then you move on to another interview, which will take you into the principal stage.
Okay. All right. So, how did you transition from being a trained guidance counselor? Because I know that is a concern of many, and that's a question that's in there from Ali 20B. Transition from a trained guidance counselor to a second grade teacher with global, because your bachelor's is in guidance counseling, right?
Yes.
So, what qualified you to be certified here as a teacher?
I guess every school, every sponsor, and every school is different because I know for sure Participate did not accept me with a guidance degree. They told me that I need to have primary or secondary or subject area.
Right.
EPI did not accept me either because they said that I have a guidance degree.
Right.
Global, on the other hand, accepted me.
Right.
So I'm like, is this God?
Right.
But it's not just me alone. Others are out there too.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I look at it to say that I have my degree in guidance and counseling, but I went back to school and I did 2 years for my teaching diploma.
Right. You have a post diploma
I have a
in
postgraduate
a
diploma in
postgraduate diploma in
education and training.
education. Right.
And my education and training diploma does not limit me to early childhood or primary or high school. I can go above and beyond.
Right.
So I just don't know. I would just probably say God was on my side. But then again, it's not just me alone.
Right. Because you know other teachers who have a bachelor's in guidance and counseling.
I know somebody with in EPI now, their degrees in psychology. So how did you accept somebody who has a psychology degree, but you couldn't accept me?
With guidance and counseling
But then what is for you
is
is
for
for
you.
you. So
Yes.
if God did not ordain that sponsor for you, you ain't going no further than where you are.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Because
So
I know you mentioned participate and I've known I know of experience where participate also hired a guidance counselor, a teacher who's trained in guidance and counseling. So I don't know, tricks and trade. I
yes,
really
they didn't
don't.
accept me. They didn't. They didn't.
Yes.
They didn't.
All right. Let me see if I see any other questions. What's your class size and what are the different eth- I think ethnic groups of students in your class? Do you face challenges with parents?
I currently have 21 students in my class. They're mixed because I have students from like Mexico, students from Pakistan, Malaysia. Is there a country? Yeah, some that may have a little Jamaican background, but it's
Yeah,
a mixture of Black and Hispanic and you name
right.
it. There, I don't have a challenge with parents because I tell it as it is. It's either you work with me or you're not working with me. I tell my parents, you need to help me help your child.
Right.
I cannot do it alone. Yes, I understand your frustration, but I can't do it alone. You need to help me help your child.
Mm-hmm.
And parents who are really, really into their child, I have one particular parent, she will send me a message every single day. How was such and such today? And
Mm-hmm.
then I have to call when they do something that's not right. And it's not just the negatives, call and give the positive news too.
Mm-hmm.
So you tell them when they're good, tell them when they're bad, not just negatives, but positives too. I have a good relationship with my parents. There was one that was rude, but I went to the principal and I said, "Sir, this woman don't know who I am." And he said, "Miss Thompson, let it stay right there." Because she
Mm-hmm.
was rude to say, "I am always picking up for students," and she don't know what I have against her child. I'm like, I was gonna
Mm-hmm.
be like, "Ma'am, have a great day," but then something pulled me and said, "Don't say it." And when I showed my principal all the messages that came in,
If you're
he was
enjoying
like,
this live, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Give the live a thumbs up if you have not liked as yet. I see Natrice is saying she can testify too. I don't know what she's testifying to, but okay, go ahead and testify, girl. I see somebody said they know somebody who applied with a guidance counselor degree, did not get through. And as we're saying, we're not sure what are they using to judge those or what criteria they're going with. Another question, are teachers on global placed in private or public schools?
"Not, no, they place you, not there's no specific, because I am in a Guilford County school. I'm not in a chartered school. I'm in a public school. You
Right.
have some teachers that are in a chartered school, so it
Mm-hmm.
varies. It depends. It depends. It's
It
not just
depends
private. No, it's not
on
just
the
private.
availability
Yes.
and which school district need teachers.
And
So
somebody was asking where I am in North Carolina.
yes. All right, guys, I'm not seeing any more questions. If you have any more questions, we're going to stay just a few minutes more for you to put those in. If you have none, we're going to be leaving shortly. Again, thanks, Miss Angela Thompson, for coming to share with us. We appreciate you coming. You did mention the challenges that you faced, and you did mention that one way of overcoming those was to have a positive mindset. Okay, I don't know if you have any final words for them or if they have any questions so that we can wrap this session up. We appreciate all that you share with us today, and I'm sure it's going to be helpful for somebody who's aspiring to come here to teach in the United States. Nicole said, "Big up Angela.
Thank you,
Read the degree
Nicole.
specification." Okay, okay. Ali said, "Thank you, Miss Thompson. Thank you. You're welcome, Ali." How easy or difficult was the principal's interview?
It wasn't difficult, I would say. It wasn't difficult because they asked first, they're definitely going to ask you about classroom management, how you handle that. If you have a disrupted child, which I do have two, and that are driving me crazy, but God is by
Yeah,
my side. I had to call the principal one day, "Please come get this child. I'm about to lose it."
yeah,
And the assistant principal came and took him out.
yes,
So they will ask you if you have a disruptive child. And that's a question that everybody's going to ask you because these students nowadays, very disruptive. You
yes,
have a child in your class screaming and you can't get to teach your lesson. What do you
right.
do?
What do
So
you
that's
do?
one
Yes.
question that they will ask you.
Mm-hmm.
They will ask you how do you teach? How do you teach? Because I remember my principal asked me up to explain my 5 E's because I would have mentioned the 5 E's that we use in Jamaica. How do
Yeah.
I use those 5 E's to teach? So it wasn't bad. You just need to focus. And as I
Mm-hmm.
said, the mindset is important.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make sure that the positivity is right there.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're going to be in serious trouble and you may want to say, "I want to go home."
Yes. Yeah. We quick to want to go home as soon as the problems come. Yes, that is so true. What's the issues you face with lesson planning?
You don't have an issue. The lesson plans are actually there. You just go in and tweak to what you want it to be. The
Right.
lesson plans are actually there.
Yeah.
Before I started this afternoon, I'm tired and sleepy. and I have to make sure that I post my lessons for the other teachers to view, because it's important that even though other teachers are doing it, you review before. You cannot go in front of the students and not knowing what is on that slide.
Right.
Everything is projected for you. You just need to go in, tweak it to how you want it to be.
Right.
Sometimes I take out some of the things because they don't make sense. I take
Right.
them out and I put in my own
What
two
you
cents.
want. Yes.
So it's not that's not a challenge.
Okay,
It's
good,
not
good.
like you sit down in Jamaica and you write.
Yes.
One day of one day lesson plan. No.
Mm-hmm.
It's already done
Somebody's,
for you. You just go in and tweak it.
yeah, somebody's asking, can I take my 2-year-old?
Yes, you can take your 2 year old with you, but global requires that 6 weeks after you come into the country, then your family comes after 6 weeks after you come in here.
Okay. And Marcella is asking, what are your strengths and weaknesses? She said, congratulations. What are your strengths and weaknesses?
My strengths, I usually say that I'm over generous, or probably that is a weakness when you love to help. But they'll tell in the United States that it's okay to say no. As somebody are quick to ask you to help to do this, you jump go do it. That's me. And I will come to ask you if you need help.
Mm-hmm.
My weaknesses, sometimes I don't even know sometimes how to differentiate them because there are so many things. Um, I just want to try and get it right.
Yeah. You want to get everything right.
I just want to get it right. Right now, because I'm still in school, it's still a little bit of challenge because you have to focus on getting coursework done, so you don't have a lot of time. Time
Mm-hmm.
is of essence, so you need time to make sure that you get everything on track. You need to be prepared. So I
Yeah.
think I'm lacking in that area, but at the same time, I still try to manage to get
Mm-hmm.
things done.
All right. Somebody say, how, that's Dallas says, how do you get along with your colleagues or fellow teachers? How difficult or easy are they to work or cooperate with?
Um, it's easy when you know what you're doing. And if United States people, they don't like when people bother you, and we Jamaicans can pick it up because we are mad to pick up.
Mm-hmm.
We are mad to pick up. So if you're not into me when I come to you to ask you a question, I can know. But really and truly, I've not had that issue.
Mm-hmm.
I've not had that. It's been a smooth process for me. I can speak for me. I can't speak for everybody else. If I
Mm-hmm.
don't understand something, even at this hour, I can take my phone up and call my second grade supervisor and ask her to explain something for me, and she will.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will not respond to you. If
Yeah.
if I have a challenge, I can call my principal. And might I add that if something is wrong with me, I was sick for 2 days the other day, and he was all the way in California, and he was nice enough to send me a message to check on me. So I have a good relationship with my principal and my peers. And I see where Mr. Gordon is asking, how has your use of technology changed? In Jamaica, I have no technology at all. But in the
Mm-hmm.
US, everything is made available for me. The first day I came here, I got my laptop in my hand. They even gave me the router thing that I use to internet. I don't even know where it is, but I need to make sure I put it up in case anything, I give it back.
Mm-hmm.
Technology, the students have their own devices, teachers have their own devices, you have your own access to printing, you have a code, you print as you want.
Yeah.
It's technology is just great here in the US.
All right. Who are the other family members that you can come that can come on the program?
I have a colleague who I met when I came here the very first night. She was friend. She's friend with my advisor, and she and I, we are buddies today. We're best friends today. I think she's on Taylor. If you're there, I think she mentioned she's there. She's with Global too. This is her second year, going into third year. I could recommend her to you.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely she's on. I'm not sure if she had invited anybody else. And I have other colleagues too who are here who would probably want to share their experience. Probably their experience is rougher than mine.
Yeah, because everybody experience is different. All
Mhm.
right. I think that's it. I think we've covered all the questions. I know I asked one just now, but I lost it. I'm not. Uh... Oh, they
Global
asked
teaching
about family
practice.
members.
Hmm.
You did answer that question, right? Your spouse and children.
I don't have a spouse yet.
No, overall for overall for global spouse and children.
Spouse and
Married,
children, and
is
6 weeks
married.
after. And might I
Yeah.
add that if you are here before the 6 weeks, if you're comfortable, you just global is down to earth. You just let them know, and they'll tell you go ahead. Just
Okay.
let them know that your child and spouse will be coming XYZ time, and you're good to go.
All right.
So it
Another
not does not necessarily have to wait until 6 weeks, but that's the requirement.
All right, sounds flexible. Another question from Dallas is do you face discrimination? It says asking because I face sometimes both covert and overt discrimination as a Caribbean teacher. Do you face discrimination?
Honestly, I don't, and I hope it's not to come. Every day, my students, if I don't talk about Jamaica, the
Mm-hmm.
next day, Miss Thompson, you did not tell us anything about Jamaica yesterday. Can you
Mm-hmm.
tell us something about Jamaica? So how I teach my students about Jamaica, the lessons that I teach every day, there has to be something in there that Jamaica must come out.
Mm-hmm.
One child would ask me, Miss Thompson, do you all use brooms in Jamaica? I'm like, seriously?
Use broom?
Yes, he asked if we use broom in Jamaica, and then I was able to give him the history of brooms. So we start out with the little bush, something, the weed, something. You cut it up and tie it and sweep the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I use every opportunity to teach them about Jamaica, and then we are having a multicultural event coming up, and I'm a part of that team, and they want me to teach a dance. I can't dance. Taylor, if you're
Mm-hmm.
here, I know you're here. You'll have to help me with that.
Right.
I have to teach the teachers a dance. Then they know that I can sing, so they also want me to do a choir thing with the staff at school. So when we have functions, the teachers are always involved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So again, that's it. Thanks for joining. Good afternoon. Do you have a WhatsApp? Um, I do. I think it's in my about section. Um, Thank you, Dr. Britton and Mrs. Thompson. Great advice about proudly incorporating our culture. I think I got all the questions. Somebody was asking which program you're on. I think it's somebody responded global. Again, thanks for joining us, Miss Thompson. We appreciate you coming to share with us. We wish you all the best in your future endeavors. Keep driving safe,
I
even
will.
though you're doing awesome. Because if you can drive from North Carolina to Georgia, we don't need anything else. That is awesome. Being that was one of your challenge when you just came here.
And I was
Again,
scared.
guys, if you have not liked this video as yet, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed to this channel, also subscribe. And if you would like to share your experience, I don't like how Jamaicans shy, and they're not shy. If you would like to share your experience, and you don't have to be a Jamaican, because I know it's not just Jamaicans on the platform, reach out to me and let me know. This community is for sharing our teaching experiences with others who aspire to teach in the United States. Go ahead and reach out, man, and tell me that you want to share so that we can set up a time when you are available. Again, thanks. No, you're not shy,
No,
Nicole
Nicole, no, no.
Francis.
No, Nicole, no, not at all.
All right,
And
go
by
ahead
the
and
way,
reach
guys,
out and let me know. You can find me on IG at Kicking with Dr. Britton. Send me a WhatsApp message. Make sure to order your shirts. Also, just go ahead and do. Like the video and subscribe and share the channel. All right, girl. Say she calls me. I use that. All right, guys. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye.